From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here in studio. The Cowboys were back on the hardwood Saturday up in Ames, Iowa, and it was the first time since Mike Boynton dismissed 3 players from the team. Nathan Ruiz joins us to talk about impressions of the Cowboys, now even more shorthanded. And Nathan, obviously Michael Cunningham's departure about 2 weeks ago now, but 3 guys additionally lost last week, and that game at Iowa State was the first without them. What stood out to you about what you saw from the Cowboys?
I thought Mike Boynton's ability to kind of manage his rotation was fascinating. We see that they only have 9 players, 8 of them on scholarship, and one of those scholarship guys, of course, is Trey Reeves. And so we think it's going to be really difficult for them to manage with only 9 guys. He ends up only playing 8. Trey Reeves doesn't get on the floor. Luke Major, a walk-on, plays 4 minutes. So they were able to depend a lot on a lot of other guys. Isaac Likely, a freshman, plays 37 minutes. Yorane is able to stay out of foul trouble. He plays 31 minutes. So they're able to get a lot of minutes out of these guys. Obviously, foul trouble is going to be a big concern for this team down the stretch of this season as they continue to manage these numbers. But for Mike Boynton to kind of go through this game without having too many issues, it seemed like obviously a disappointing loss for the Cowboys. But with the numbers not so much being the issue, another area to look at is just kind of the guys who maybe felt the need to step up. Curtis Jones and Tom Cizagua, 2 big shooters for the Cowboys, both go 1 for 8 from 3, so combined 2 for 16 night for them. Obviously a concern, and it might just be a case where they were kind of trying to adjust to the change in offense after losing Maurice Kalu, after losing Michael Weathers, Contravious Jones as well, obviously dismissed. So I think we'll continue to kind of see adjustments through Wednesday's Bedlam game, just as Mike Boynton kind of tries to sort things out now.
Well, you mentioned foul trouble, and all things being equal, if these guys stay out of foul trouble, playing 30-plus minutes a game, how sustainable is that? I know that, it's not like they're playing every other day, so it's not an impossibility, but is your sense that those sorts of minutes, is that going to be the norm for some of these guys on this team?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to continue to see, coming in, Cam McGriff and Lindy Waters were in the top 10 in the conference in minutes per game, and I think that trend's going to continue. Waters fouled out on Saturday, so if you're able to keep him on the floor, ideally he's playing more minutes, I think, than the 31 he finished with. And same goes, even Cam McGriff played 34, and I think ideally he would have played 38, 39. So I think Mike Boynton's going to push his captains, push his leaders, and try to get as many minutes out of them as possible. Again, there's a lot of responsibility on Isaac Likely's shoulders now. Again, he played 37 minutes with Isaac Likely gone and Lindy Waters being split so many different ways with all the different positions he can play. There's going to be a lot of responsibility for Isaac Likely to be able to stay on the floor and be able to handle that point guard role if Lindy Waters has to handle another position. And then Yorane really stepped up. He had struggled to stay on the floor throughout most of Big 12 play, but for him to be able to be on the floor for 31 minutes, put together a strong performance, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. So those 2 freshmen, I think, are going to be really big pieces for this team going forward.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more here in a second about seeing what this looks like on the court Wednesday night again. But Nathan, I'm wondering, with that kind of minute, just volume putting on these guys in games, how is practice going to be handled? Because you've got a young team, they need to practice, they need that experience on the practice court, and yet you're asking so much in games from them. From Mike Boynton's perspective, any guess how he's trying to rework or maybe tweak practice to make it beneficial but not overextend his guys?
Well, I'm sure he's learning kind of how to handle it. He hasn't had to deal with this even last year when they dismissed a couple players and had a dip in numbers. They never had fewer than 10 guys. So obviously a tough situation that Mike Boynton's evaluating now. They had Sunday off, I believe. So today, Monday, is going to be their first day back at practice since that game on Saturday. And so I'm sure Mike Boynton took some things from that game and will try to evaluate. And I'm sure, some guys will be watching film. Those guys who all played 30-plus minutes, they might have a lighter day. But other guys, Luke Major, Duncan DeMuth, some of these guys who didn't play as many minutes might be a little more active in practice, just trying to help them work, get them continually in game shape. This is what we hear them say all season, that this is what the off season was for. And so I think they're working hard to, get prepared for what should be a grueling rest of the Big 12 slate.
Well, and that starts Wednesday night again as we reference Bedlam up in Stillwater. What will you be watching for, Nathan, considering what you saw Saturday from the Cowboys in Ames at Iowa State and now heading into this Bedlam game? What are you keeping an eye on Wednesday night?
Yeah, absolutely. It has to kind of be the continued adjustment and rotations and the ability to keep those guys on the floor. You know, you have so many guys playing 30-plus minutes. Are they going to be able to avoid foul trouble again? We saw how many fouls there were in that game in Norman last time these two teams met up. If that happens again, obviously, OSU is going to be in a lot of trouble. It doesn't have the depth to withstand another game like that. You could end up, you know, with Trey Reeves seeing a lot of minutes after seeing none on Saturday. So it'll definitely be an adjustment. If the game is called a similar way, if the fouls are flying the same way they were in Norman. So that'll be, I think, what to watch. How does OSU handle foul trouble, and how does Mike Boynton kind of avoid total collapse with a 9-man rotation?
All right, again, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock in Stillwater. It's on ESPNU if you're not heading up to Gallagher-Iba Arena for that Bedlam matchup. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.